Welcome everybody, Alisper here, back with another video. Today we're going to be going over the green archetype for set 5 New Adventure and all the cards that go along with that. Before we get into that though, I just want to let you guys know I will not be doing a black breakdown for the set. I already did one over on Corrosive Bullets channel, and if you guys are interested in our thoughts on that, I'll leave a link in the description below to make sure you also give Corrosive Bullets some love and support. So with that out of the way, let's dive right into it. We got our leader, Son Goku, 15k power. When attacking, draw one card. Standard, activate main battle. When your life is at 3 or less, draw one card, then flip this card over. Pretty normal, except the 3 or less instead of 4. So on his backside, he's a 20k power. Permanent your turn. This card gets 10,000 power, so he's a 30k swinger permanently on your turn. And at the end of your turn, discard one card from your hand. If your life is at 2 or less and you have 7 or less energy, add the top card of your deck to your life. So if you meet those restrictions of having 7 or less energy and your 2 or less life, then this will kick off and put a life back into your life pool, or a card back into your life pool. I like this deck a lot just from going over some test playing. I think it's pretty decent. It runs a very fine line of I'm going to be at 2 or less pretty much the whole time while I'm awakened, and that can be pretty dangerous depending on what kind of decks you're playing against and what your hand is seeing and what your opponent's playing. But I think this deck does that very well, and if you have a correct person, like a very skillful person playing this deck, it can be pretty dangerous. Now let's hop over to the first card. It's going to be a 1-drop 5k power, 5k combo, Dr. Brief, Earthling. On play, look at 7 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 extra card with a cost of 2 or less, and add it to your hand. Place the rest at the bottom of the owner's deck in a random order. So we just got a searcher looking at the top 7. I don't like looking at the top 7. That just seems pretty extreme. I don't know why it's top 7, but you're getting an extra card 2 or less, which in this deck, I feel like you're running a few extra cards, so this is not terrible. I just don't like the top 7 cards. Then we got 5k power, 5k combo, Bulma, 1-drop. On play, look at 3 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 card with Planet Namek and special traits, and add it to the hand. Place the rest at the bottom of your owner's deck in a random order. I don't know why they went from 7 to 3. I'm guessing, actually I don't know why. But this one's just looking for a Planet Namek, as Dr. Brief is looking for an extra. Decent searchers. This searcher's pretty good. Then we have a 1-drop 5k power 10k combo, Chaozu, Earthling, Otherworld, King Kai's Planet. On play, if your life is at 2 or less, choose up to 1 battle card with a cost of 5 or less in your opponent's battle area, and it can't attack during your opponent's next turn. This card's okay. There's other cards that do that better in other decks, like Para Brothers and most yellow things. But I feel like because this is a 1-drop and a 10-drop combo, and you're gonna have a lot of energy left over in this deck while playing things, and I think this can help facilitate some aggression off of you while you're trying to get your plays through, and it kind of puts your opponent a step back, and we'll have to figure out how to get around not being able to have that card of theirs attack. I don't like the 5 or less in the battle area, just because 5, there's some heavy hitters in 5, but I mean against other green decks like Broly's and Cell, this card's not going to do anything against it, so it's just kind of combo power at that point. But not terrible. Maybe run a couple just for the for the combo power and for the situational times when you would use this. Next, we're gonna have a 1-drop 10k power 10k combo, Murray, Namekian, Planet Namek. He's a blocker. Add 1 card from your life to your hand. I like this because it's a 1-drop Self Awakener. We don't have many of those anymore, because because Roshi's banned, and I can't think of any other 1-drop Self Awakeners at this. Mai is a 1-drop Self Awakener, but other than that, I don't know of any other ones. But this card's great because you want to awaken as fast as you can with with Goku, Namek Goku. So the next card then is our first SR, 20k power, 5k combo Krillin, Earthling, Planet Namek. On play, add up to 1 card from your life to your hand. When KO, add up to 1 card from your hand to your energy and rest mode. This card's great, especially when you can get multiple of these on the board. Yes, if you're facing like things like red and blue who can kind of minus this and just throw it back in your deck. Other decks are gonna have to KO this or freeze it, or just completely ignore it, because you don't want them to get ramped, and so you're gonna have to either just bite the bullet or completely ignore it. So this card's really good. Then we got 2-drop, 10k power, 10k combo Guru, Namekian, Planet Namek. End of turn, place 1 card from your life into your drop. So you're essentially creating yourself. Activate main, switch this card in the battle area to rest mode during this turn. The next time you use an extra card with a cost of 5 or less, cost of 5 and Namekian and its special traits from your hand, you don't have to play the cost. Let me just read that one more time. During this turn, the next time you use an extra with a cost of 5 and Namekian and its special traits from your hand, you don't have to pay the cost. Okay. So you're essentially creating yourself to be able to play a 5-drop extra card for free. I can see where you might want to do this like in an end game kind of scenario where you're trying to go for game and there's a 5 cost extra that does something, and we'll get into one of those later on. But I don't see you wanting to keep this card on the field just because at the end of your turn you're gonna continue to create yourself. But I like the 10k combo. So I'd maybe run a couple of these. Next, we're going to have 2-drop, 20k power, 5k combo Tien, Earthling, Otherworld, King Kai's Planet. On play, place 1 card from your life into its owner's drop. Choose up to 1 battle card with a cost of 2 or less in your opponent's battle area and KO it. I think this card is trash. Why do you want to crit yourself and then just to get rid of a 2 cost? That doesn't really seem... I mean, if you want a super hyper awaken and you don't really care about the draw power, sure. But I don't think I'd ever do this when you have like those 1-drop blockers that are just going to help you awaken, and who really cares about a 2 cost? Yeah, I just think this card's not good. Next, we're going to have a 2-drop 15k power, 10k combo, blocker, Nail, Namekian, Planet Namek. Permanent, your opponent's turn. Your Guru can't be removed from the battle area by your opponent's skills. Again, I don't know why you want to keep Guru on the field, but at least he's a blocker and a 10k combo. I don't know. I wouldn't see myself using this very much. So with that, we're going to go to our next 2-drop, 20k power, 5k combo. On play, add up to 1 card from your life to your hand. Then if your life is at 2 or less, draw 1 card. I can actually see this being used later in the game when you've played your big bodies and you still have some energy left over and you need some draw power because you do not draw when attacking with your leader. So this can be another way to facilitate some draw power, which I kind of like. And it's a 20k power, so it's going to swing into most leaders. Next, we're going to have just a skillless Yamcha, Earthling, Otherworld, King Kai's Planet, 20k power, 10k combo, nothing special there. Then we will have a 2-drop, 15k power, 10k combo blocker, add up to 1 card from your life to your hand. That's the only difference between the Murray and this one is it's an extra 5k power and it's a 2-drop. I think I would just run the other 1-drop. I mean, what's 5k power gonna do you between 10 and 15? But easier to keep on the board, I guess, from red to get minus. But 15k power is not that hard for red to get rid of. The next we'll have just into our 3 drops now. Just a 25k beat stick King Kai. 10k power or 10k combo. Yeah, nothing special there. Just 25k beat stick. Then we'll have our Son Goku 3-drop, 20k power, 10k combo, Saiyan Planet Namek. Permanent, your turn. If your life is at 2 or less, this card in the battle area gets 15,000 power. On play, add up to 1 card from your life to your hand. So it's a Self-Awakener. Plus, towards the end game, this is a 35k power beat stick with a 10k combo. I really like this card. I think I'd probably be running this probably 4 of, just because it's basically a 3-drop 35k power card with a 10k combo. So if you're not using this on the field, you're at least using it for combo power. So I think this card is really good all around. Then we got our next SR. It's a 3-drop 20k power 0 combo Son Gohan Youth Saiyan Earthling Planet Namek. On play, choose one of 2 options. If your life is at 2 or less, choose up to 1 battle card in your opponent's battle area and KO it. In the second option, add 1 card from your life to your hand, then choose up to 1 battle card with a cost of 3 or less from your opponent's area and KO it. I really like this card. I don't know why you would want to use the second option unless you're really hurting to Self-Awaken. But this card is usually something I'd save kind of towards the end game when people are playing out their big cards, and then KOs anything. So I mean that's pretty great. And if you have multiple these in your hand and they got like a couple Broly's on the field and it's not looking good for you, and you can just easily just KO a couple of them. So I like this card a lot. It's gonna be ran probably in most Namek decks, or a lot of other green decks too, not just Namek. Then we got our 3-drop 5k power 10k combo Dende Namekian Planet Namek. Activate main, switch this card in battle area to rest mode. If your life is at 1, add up the top card of your deck to your life. It's okay. It's very like specific, like you have to be at 1 life. And with, I guess with that, like if you awaken, if you're down to 1 life, then you can use this card, get up to 2, and then at the end of your turn with your leader ability, add it up to 3, so you're back to 3. Maybe 1 to 2 if I did run this, just basically for the 10k combo alone, but just okay. Then we got a 4-drop 25k power 10k combo Piccolo Namekian Planet Namek. On play, place 1 card from your life into its owner's drop. Add up to 1 card with Namekian and its special traits from your drop to its owner's energy. This card is really good in Piccolo, like the Piccolo leader, just for a really good ramping option. It would work alright in Namek Goku too, because I think you're probably running some Namekians, but you want to stay at 7 or less energy, so I don't really know. It would work okay in Namek Goku, but I think it's more Piccolo support than anything, and it's 25k power beat stick, so not a bad card. Then we get into our secret rare for our second secret rare for this set. 7-drop 45k power Son Goku Saiyan Planet Namek, a double strike. Permanent, if your life is at 2 or less and you don't have a Son Goku with a cost of 7 in your battle area, reduce 6 card in your hand by 4. So this is the first time we've had a playable 7 energy card, unless you're playing super combos, which I mean you do you. But this card is great just because you're reducing, if you're at the 2 or less life and you don't have another one of these on the field, you're reducing this by 4, so 3. So that's why I was saying, like towards the end of the game, and this is like your big boss monster for this deck. So if you're playing this for 3, and so you're gonna have like 4 energy back up, at least. So you can play that Gohan, you can play that Goku, that 3-drop Goku, which is really good. So you play the big beat stick, and then you have double strike, and then you can play other options too. So you're not like you're spending all your energy just on this to play it, which I like. And it's good for maybe some early, like you are awakened and you have 4 energy or 3 energy, and you could just be like, bam, play this out, some early pressure, and there's an extra card we'll get into that can really boost this card up and put on some good pressure in the early game if you want. But solid card. I love this card. This is what I'm talking about with the extra card. It's going to be 1-drop, Destructo Disc, Earthling, Planet Namek, activate battle, your turn. Your cards that are in the battle area get plus 20,000 power for the battle. Then if your life is at 2 or less, those cards gain critical for the battle. That's crazy. So if you play this early, if you play that double strike early, and say they're not even awakened yet, or maybe they're at 4, because typically if you're gonna play a double strike at somebody at like 4 life or before they're awakened, they're probably gonna take it, just for the extra cards in their hand, and they'll be able to pretty much take anything else you throw at them, and they're not gonna let you drop them down any farther. But this plus 20,000 power with the critical added onto it, so you're like looking at a 65k critical body hitting into them for double strike. That's a lot to get over. That's like a couple super combos and more. So I feel like this card is gonna be a staple in a lot of green decks, not just this deck. But I would say that because your life has to be 2 or less, this kind of puts some restrictions on the card, which would be crazy if you could if you were in another deck and then just play this card and then just start critting everything. But I think having this card only work with if your life is at 2 or less is fair. So then we'll go over to our next 1-drop, Dr. Brief Spaceship. If your leader is Son Goku and your life is at 2 or less, draw 2 cards. So this card is good. I've seen people run a lot of, like, 4 of these in their deck, and I saw one particular match where I think he had like 3 of these in his hand. And so you're playing 1 to get 2, so you're automatically up 1, and then so you can play your big body, and then if you have 4 more energy, then you can just keep playing this and draw in 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 and have a huge hand. So I really do like this card, and I think it can work pretty well. It's just when it comes to extra cards, you make sure you don't want to oversaturate your deck with extra cards. That's kind of I know I have a problem with that, because I'm like, oh, this card's good and that card's good, but like, which one do I want to run? But it all comes down to your play style and how you really want to run it. I think maybe having just a couple of these wouldn't hurt in your deck. But you're definitely going to be wanting to run that Destructo Disc and maybe a couple of these. But the other extra cards aren't bad either, which we'll get into. And then that's when we'll get into our 2-drop, full power. If your life is at 2 or less, choose up to 2 battle cards with a cost of 4 or less in your opponent's battle area and KO them. I don't know if I would run this, just because I probably want to run more Destructo Discs and maybe Dr. Brief. So I think, at least on my end, I would probably not run this, just because those 2 extra cards exist. But not a bad card. It gets rid of 2, 4 or less in your opponent's battle area, and it all depends on how you want to build your deck. If you want to build your deck around some hard removal or draw power, that's completely up to you. And then we have our 3-drop, activate main, draw 1 card. 3-drop, training at 100 Gs, Saiyan training, activate main, draw 1 card, add 1 card from your life to your hand. Then if your life is at 2 or less, play up to 1 Son Goku with a cost of 3 or less from your hand. So you're basically playing this card. So you play let's say you play your secret rare for 3. Yeah, 3. And then you can play this card if you have if you have that 3-drop Goku in your hand. So you can play this, draw a card, and then add a card from your life to your hand. So you're self-awakening, so that's 2 cards, and then you're playing that 3-drop Goku for essentially free. So not a bad card. You are getting more cards while playing this, and then also playing a 3-drop. But I don't know. I'd probably either run this or Dr. Briefs. I don't know if I'd run both of those, so I'd probably pick one or the other. But this card's pretty good, just because I really like that you can play the 3-drop out of your hand from this. So then we got our last extra card. It's 5-drop. Unlock ability, activate main, choose up to 1 battle card in your battle area, and it gets plus 15,000 power for the turn. Then if your life is at 1, add up to 2 cards from the top of your deck to your life. So this is where that Guru card would come into play. So say you are, if you're at 2, or no, because it has to be end of turn. So like, let's say you play that, and then you activate the main to be able to use this card, and then add it onto your double strike. So that's gonna be 60 power double strike, and then for free, and then you can add on destructive disc to that too. So it's like, and then you're also adding 2 cards from your deck to your life, so you're stacking power, and then which can be really good. And I think at the end of I think this is more or less played towards the end of the game if you're trying to close it out. So if you got this in your hand with some destructive discs and your secret rare on the field, or even maybe just your 3-drop Goku on the field, you could play this. You could have a lot of damage put onto that card. So not a bad card. I may maybe run 2 of these. That's about it. And with that, we just got a super combo, Chi-Chi, Earthling, nothing special. I don't think it's searchable. If it is, let me know. Then it might be a little better. But other than that, I believe that is it for green. Let me know what you guys think about this deck. If you guys done some test playing, if you guys found out a really good way to play this deck. I know I've seen a couple of people play this deck very well. And it does a lot of good stuff. I don't think it's going to be better than Droids, but it's still a really good competitive green deck, I would say. But with that, I think that's going to close it out for our breakdowns for the set. Like I said, Black is already done on Corrosive Bulls channel, and I'll leave that link at the bottom or in the description, so go check that out. Let me know what you guys are excited about running the most this set, and you know what kind of decks you're building. All right, and with that, I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.